Hi, I'm Gerry Chidiac. I'm a high school teacher, and this is Lessons in Learning. Today we're going to talk about the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Steven Spielberg said, "It's a Wonderful Life tells us that every human being on earth matters, and that's a very powerful message." George Bailey, the main character in the film, is an ambitious man who, as a result of circumstances, ends up running a small family-run building and loan company. Though he successfully navigates through the Great Depression and significantly contributes to the well-being of the middle class in his community, he feels that his life has been a failure. When a banking error results in the possibility of charges for misappropriation of funds, he is ready to give up hope. Just as he is preparing to jump off a bridge, an angel appears to George and shows him what the world would be like had he never been born. He is able to see the contribution he has made in the life of every person he knows, and he is overcome with a sense of gratitude for a life well lived. In the end, Bailey's friends come through and disaster is averted. George then receives a gift from the angel with the message, "Remember, no man is a failure who has friends." The message of It's a Wonderful Life rings true to this day, despite having been released in 1946, because it speaks of powerful universal truths. Every act of kindness is significant. Every person has special gifts to bring to the world. And the more that we do good, the more we draw out the good in others, and the better the world becomes. It really is a wonderful life. We're going to talk about the power of compassion. It is no secret that there is tremendous pain in the world. Not knowing the source of the pain, however, we often don't know how to respond and end up giving in to fear and actually making the problem worse. Canadian physician Gabor Mate has devoted his career to understanding why people do terrible things to themselves and to others. He spent 12 years working with those severely addicted to drugs on the Lower East Side of Vancouver, and has written and spoken extensively on this topic. By looking on these people with empathy, Mate has come to the realization that they are really no different from anybody else. People become addicted to drugs because the drugs soothe the pain, which is the result of trauma in their lives. Therefore, Mate says the question is not why the addiction, but why the pain. He also notes that people can be addicted to many things other than drugs. Years of colonization, war, and genocide have left many people living with pain and has resulted in people using dysfunctional behaviors to try to cope with the pain. The result is that the trauma continues often into the next generation and the next. We only need to turn on the television news to see the impact of pain on our hurting planet. Our efforts to stop violence through acts of aggression and punishment have never worked and actually serve to perpetuate the problem. Compassion works. Through thousands of years of human history, nothing has served us better. As each of us finds peace within ourselves, we bring peace to others, and thus bring healing to our broken world. There are many amazing books written by survivors of genocide. As great as they are, they do not tell us the story of what happens to children who survive these crimes against humanity. In many ways, Mouth of Truth, Buried Secrets by Lillian Borax-Nemitz is groundbreaking. It tells the story of a person who survived the Holocaust as a child and then lives her life trying to make sense of what happened. Unfortunately, what happened to Lillian happens to far too many children. In Canada, we are just beginning to come to terms with the impact of the residential school system on generations of children. How many of our immigrants left fighting behind only to find it haunting their dreams? How many of us have grown up in homes where abuse was a regular occurrence? Lillian's book contributes greatly to the understanding of a person going through the journey of healing childhood trauma. The Holocaust did not end for Lillian when her country of Poland was liberated from the Nazis. It did not end when she immigrated to Canada. It did not end when she had children of her own. In fact, in many ways, the memories never disappear. The best that one can do is to come to an understanding and to heal oneself of the trauma, to teach the lessons that one learns by going through the journey, and thus pass on the message of healing to the world. The deep and scathing wounds that have resulted from our quest for global domination over the last several hundred years has left deep and scathing wounds in our humanity. Even greater than our collective trauma is our capacity for healing, which begins when we hear the stories of our survivors with an open heart and with no judgment. This compassion leads to healing, and perhaps this healing is the greatest gift that we can give to our children.